Okay. So we are live now. I think we will wait for some time for everyone to join and then we can start. Okay. So I think we'll start. So first, before we move on to the questions, I would like to give a brief introduction about Khitish. So, he's a B.Tech graduate now. Sad to say it, but okay. So he's from Electronics and Instrumentation branch. He graduated with an exceptional CGPA of 8.9, despite being from software background, and he's currently holding the pre-placement offer at Rubrik after serving as a semester intern in the core UI team. While in college, he has achieved many milestones in competitive programming. Some of them being he's currently an expert on CodeForces with the highest rating of 1751, and a guardian on LeetCode with the highest rating of 2323, as well as he has represented the college thrice in ICPC regionals and achieved a notable rank of 50 out of 228 teams this year only, last year, sorry, uh, at a regional level. So let's get to know from him directly how to pave one's way for off-campus opportunities. So, Kitish, would you like to say anything?
So I'd start by introducing myself. Thank you, Shaurya, for the great words about me. But yeah, myself, Khitish Agrawalla. So yeah, as Shaurya said, I will be graduating. Not exactly will be graduating. I have graduated from NIT Rourkela, and I had interned at Rubrik as a winter intern during my eighth semester, and that converted into my pre-placement offer. And I'll be joining Rubrik on 3rd of June, that is tomorrow, as a full-time employee. And I'm here to answer all the questions that you guys have. Uh, yeah, sure. Yeah. So you can go ahead. Questions.
Okay. Srujan, would you like to start?
Yeah, my first question would be like, can you talk about your entire background on in the software industry, like including your previous interns and how it all went on with your experience?
Yeah, in terms of work in the industry, so I started with having an NatWest internship in the summer of 2023. So that was an on-campus offer. At NatWest, I worked in the UI testing team. So it was automated UI testing using Java, Selenium, and other things, other libraries like Cucumber, Gherkin. and that lasted for 2 months, and that was my first experience in the industry, as we can say. And then the next experience would be the internship at Rubrik. So it started in January of 2024 and ended in May 31st, ended on May 31st. And that was my internship in the core UI team, so front end based only. And the NatWest internship was also testing related to the front end. So mostly my entire journey has been on front end. And yeah, tomorrow I'll be joining Rubrik as a full-time software engineer in the same core UI team. So that has been my journey in the industry. And if you want to know like specific insights, you can ask me regarding the same.
So
Okay.
can you like talk about the work culture there? Like how were your colleagues there, and how did everything go on?
Um, Both regarding NatWest and Rubrik or like only Rubrik?
You can say both.
Yeah. So starting with NatWest, so NatWest is a like multinational company and it is a very old company. So the culture there at NatWest is very different from what we have at Rubrik. Uh, since NatWest is a bank, so mostly the things that are focused are bank related, and software kind of takes like backseat. So all the software work that is done, that is only to increase the profit of the bank. So software is not the main thing that they focus on. It is the bank side of things that they focus. So sometimes software takes a backseat, and the work at NatWest, the velocity there was, as you can say, like in other MNCs also, the velocity is a kind of average, and the code you write doesn't go to production as soon as like in startup companies. So that kind of culture we had at NatWest, and also I think the interns. NatWest was hiring interns for the very first time, so there were a few things that they could have improved. But yeah, overall it was a really good internship journey for me as a first step in the industry. And talking about Rubrik, since we know that Rubrik is a startup, currently recently turned 10 years old, so the culture is very different from what we had at NatWest. So the code you write goes to production directly within a few weeks, and the velocity is like prime focus here. So we have some values at Rubrik, they are reward values. So here V stands for velocity. So that is kind of a main focus here, and that is actually expected from an intern. So all the other values take a backseat. Velocity is what they expect, along with quality as well. And in terms of team culture, I would say the people here, at least in my team, are really great, and there is no such toxicity or anything like that. And mostly they are very supportive. So even if you have a hybrid kind of work environment, so like we come to office twice a day and the rest of the days it is not necessary, but they are always available to help. Shaurya, I think you are muted.
Okay, thanks, Khitish, for the answer. Now, I would like to ask more about your academic journey in electronics. Like I mentioned in your introduction, you had a CG of 8.9. So, how did you maintain such a CG despite preparing for like placements?
Hmm. Quite frankly, like initially, as we had the COVID batch, so our college was partly online and partly offline. So until mid of fourth semester, it was mostly online. So during that time, it was kind of easy to manage both preparation and studying for academics at the same time. Um, since the exams were mostly multiple choice questions and the syllabus was also not that much, so I was able to prepare for it like within a week before exams. So that was kind of a smooth experience, and my CG during my online semesters was pretty good. So that actually gave me a good head start for the rest of the college that I had. And after our offline college started, it became quite difficult, I would say. Initially I wasn't able to manage both of them together very well, and I mostly focused on my academics, so the preparation kind of took a backseat. But eventually, I was able to balance them somewhat. I generally what I do is I listen to the classes, so I'm able to understand the concepts in the classes itself, and I do tend to make notes of the classes. But like whenever apart from the class time, I don't study for the semesters, and except the exams time. So when the exams come, like 1 or 2 weeks before, I just go through my notes, and mostly it's memorizing. So that's what I do, and that's what gets me decent marks in the exams. So mostly what I do is just listen to the classes, make some notes, and just look through them during the examinations. And rest of the time, I was preparing for the placements and internships.
Okay. Okay, good pointers. I think our juniors from second year and third years, they can note these. My next question is, when did you become sure of your career path? And then what was your approach? Like, how did you, like, what did you do about it? What was your plan of action when you chose your career path?
So it's kind of unconventional. Even before I started college, I was looking into being a software engineer. So mostly it was the hyped up salaries that we had at IITs that kind of motivated me to get there. But yeah, so I was almost decided to go this path even before a college started. Mm, I can say that I wanted to be in the computer science branch, so that's why I took a drop after JEE. The most I can would get into was the electronics instrumentation, and since I knew that I wanted to go into the software field, so I started learning some programming languages like C and C++ even before I had joined my college. So after JEE mains had ended and the JEE advanced weren't done yet, so within the gap between JEE mains and JEE advanced, I was actually studying and learning C++ as a programming language, and yeah, I mean, that's where I started my journey. And after starting my college for the first year, since I didn't get into computer science, I was mostly focused on getting a good CGPA so that I can change my branch to computer science later in the second year, as that was the thing that used to have in NIT Rourkela. I think it is still there. But yeah, that didn't happen. So there were no seats for computer science. So I stayed in electronic instrumentation. And for that whole first year, my preparation was kind of paused. So I was again back to start. So from the second year beginning, I had to start again. I had to learn the language again. Then I went ahead and learned data structures and algorithms. I went ahead and gave some contests, solved some lead code questions. Yeah, did some basic projects. Yeah, that's how it went.
Okay,
You
okay,
said,
that's some good points.
yeah. Just a minute, Srujan. Like you mentioned
Yeah,
that you were trying for a branch change, and like now, but it didn't happen because I think there were no seats in CS.
Hmm. Yeah.
Were you like, do you regret it now?
Mm, that's a good question. I wouldn't know if I regret it. I mean, given my current situation, I don't regret it. But maybe the maybe the journey would have been smoother if I had been in CS. I'm not sure about that. That is all just imagination. But yeah, I don't regret it
Hmm.
specifically now.
Okay, fine. Okay, Srujan, you can move on to the next question.
yeah, sure. I would like to ask you about how did you prepare for your internship period, like specific to the internship time? Can you explain it?
Hmm. So for our internships, my aim was like people do have a company to aim. So mine was Microsoft, as that was the best company that visited our campus. So I had seen the number of people Microsoft hires from our Monday morning website. So they were like before my year of seniors. So Microsoft hired around 17 interns from our college. So that was kind of a motivation for me. And I failed to see that most of them were CS people, but yeah, that's fine. So I centered my preparation around Microsoft. So what Microsoft asked, what is the expected from a candidate in the interview? That was my path for the preparation. So I got to know from doing some research on YouTube, mostly. Microsoft asks mainly the DSA questions, and those are like lead code medium level questions. As well as if you have some project, that is a very good thing. So you can explain what kind of work you have done in your own personal projects. And apart from that, there are a few CS specific topics like object-oriented programming and database management system that might be or might not be asked. So these are the few things that I prepared. As I said, during the first year of my college, so there was no preparation, and I had also lost track of the things that I learned before my college started. So during the second year, around in August or September, I had to start from the scratch again. Mostly, I started learning C++ from Abdul Bari. So there's an instructor, Abdul Bari, who has some great courses on C++ on YouTube as well as Udemy. So that is where I started learning C++, also data structures and algorithms. But initially, I was just going through the lectures and was not solving any problems, so I didn't see any real progress. So in the November of 2019, 2022, I guess. I don't remember. Or was it 21? Yeah, whatever. 21, I think. Um, then I started with lead code questions as well. So learning the concepts as well as doing the lead code questions in parallel helped me gain some confidence in DSA. And projects, for the projects I had done some very basic projects. So using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So those are not something that I would be proud of right now. But yeah, mostly my preparation was focused around DSA and very minimal time on projects, and also some amount of time in object-oriented programming and database management systems.
Okay.
And that is
I
for the
have
internship.
another. Okay. So sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt you, but I have another follow-up question. So my question is it good to have target
Okay.
companies? Like you
So
said,
as you mentioned that you aimed at getting internship at Microsoft. Yeah.
Srujan, can you wait for a minute? Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
So like you said, Microsoft is your target company. Was your
Yeah.
target company. So
Mm-hmm.
like does having a target company, is it good or is it bad? And like is there any company specific preparation? Like my question
Uh,
is
uh,
preparation for Microsoft different from, let's say, preparation from maybe Google or like that? So
mhm. So in case of software-based companies, let me come to the second part first. So in the case of software-based companies, preparation is the basics are always the same. It's the same data structure algorithms. It's the same thing that you need to have some projects, and it's the same CS subjects that you need to have knowledge about. So that basics is same. There might be something that are specific to certain company, let's say Oracle. Since Oracle is a database company, so they might ask more detail into the database management system subject. Also, that is a might, that is not a sure thing. So the preparation basic is same, and it might be that some companies are biased towards certain part of the preparation, so you might have to prepare that more rigorously. I mean, that is my opinion. And in some cases, like there are some startups that do not ask DSA, so they are like purely project based. They will give some assignment, and you have to complete those assignments and that kind of thing. So that is a different realm altogether. And for that, I think there's a different kind of preparation needed. You need to focus more on the project side. So I would say, from our college perspective and the number of people that are hired, I would say that 80% of the companies have the same basic preparation, DSA projects, and the core subjects. And there are 20% of companies that are specific to the domain. They can ask specific to the domain. So
hmm.
that is all about differences in preparation. And having a target company, I mean, it has good things as well, it has bad things. From the good things that you can say that when you have a company that is your target, so the goal becomes very clear. So you are actually motivated to work in that company, you are motivated to work hard to get into that company. So that is like all the things in mind. So but definitely helps someone to get over all the hurdles that they face during the preparation phase. So that is one advantage of having a target company. One disadvantage is that, of course, when you do not get the target company, there might be other very good companies, but you might not be showing that much interest in those companies. So let's say I targeted Microsoft, so I couldn't get to the online test of the Microsoft, and then the next day I think we had an online test for Qualcomm, and in that I wasn't able to perform very well because I couldn't clear Microsoft. So there was no point in going to Qualcomm. I had that kind of things in my mind. Although I know that Qualcomm is a very good company as well. So that is one disadvantage. So I would say that, yeah, I mean, it's fine keeping a target company. If it motivates you, if it helps you prepare better, then go ahead, do it. But yeah, don't get disheartened when you don't get that company. There are a lot of other companies. See, I aimed to Microsoft, I got to Rubrik, so you can do that too.
Okay. Uh, Great answer again. I think that's great advice for our juniors. So I think Srujan, you can ask the next question.
Well, given the answer to the previous question, I also wanted to ask, as you mentioned, that due to Microsoft, you had a major setback, right? How did you go through that setback and perform in the next companies? And how did you crack your internship at NetWest?
I mean, yeah, I mean, there is no shortcut. So once I didn't get into Microsoft, I was very sad. at least up to 2 3 days I was very sad. So, but I mean, you have to get back up and go for the next company, because companies are not going to wait for you. The internship season is not going to wait for you to recover from your sadness and again try harder. So they are not going to wait for you. There is no shortcut to that. So you have to get back up on your feet and you have to work again for a different company. So I mean, that's the hard way. There is no shortcut.
Okay. So my next question is, can you tell us about your your journey in the internship season? So like you mentioned about Microsoft, Qualcomm. Then how, like, what was the journey up to, I would say, NatWest, up to the offer in NatWest? So can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So
And
starting from Microsoft. Yeah, yeah.
can and just mention the timeline so it is easier for our like sophomores to understand.
Mhm. Yeah. So, starting from Microsoft came to our college in the, I think, third week of July. So until that time, I think I was very well prepared for Microsoft level of questions, the data structures algorithms, and the projects that I had prepared. So I was uh, pretty confident that if I get into an interview, I would be able to clear it. But yeah, you can say it luck and you can say destiny, whatever. But yeah, I couldn't get through the online test, so that was pretty sad for me, devastating for me. And the next day, I think we had an OT next day or maybe next week. I don't remember exactly, but we had an online test for Qualcomm, and I totally did very bad in that because of what happened in Microsoft. So I totally messed up that opportunity at Qualcomm. And after that, I mean, obviously, I didn't get selected for Qualcomm interviews, so that is done. And we had another company called Oracle that visited, I would say, in the first week of August. Yeah, the first week of August, Oracle came to our college, and by that time, I had completely recovered, so I was again giving the online test enthusiastically. And I was selected for Oracle interviews. I went to the three interviews of Oracle, and all on the same day. Mostly the two were technical interviews, and third was a manager HR interview. And I went to the three interviews, but I didn't get the offer at Oracle. So that was again a setback for me. Um, as I was kind of sure that I had a decent interview, I might get selected in Oracle, but yeah, that didn't happen. That was another kind of setback that I had. And after that, there were a lot of companies visiting, let's say American Express, Visa, and I don't remember all the names, but yeah, most of them I was getting rejected in the online test itself. Mostly because there are a lot of people appearing in the online test and lot of people doing very well in the test. So sometimes the results are randomized. So NatWest was the next company that I got an opportunity to interview with. And that happened in September before our midterms have started. The NatWest interview was there. So even before the midterms was started. So NatWest online test was mostly like everything you can ask for. Let's say uh, DSA was there, some specific algorithmic questions were there, and logical reasoning questions were there, and everything was there, just a mix of everything. OT level wasn't that difficult. It's just time, you have to time it very well, and you have to be very accurate about that. And after the OT, I got a chance to interview with NatWest, and it was a very short interview, 20 minutes. They just tested your basic, like they just get to know about you, your projects, and some mental maths they asked. That's it. And there were also HR questions. So in the NatWest interview, one of the HR questions I wasn't able to answer very well. So I wasn't very hopeful about NatWest. But the same day, end of the day, I got the offer at NatWest for internship, and like that's where my internship season ended. So there were a few, but I would say that I was very thankful that I got an internship before my mid semester. Otherwise, it would have affected my grades very much, as the preparation time is at that time is very hectic. So people who didn't get an internship before the mid semester or even before the semester ended, it must have been very hectic for them. So my journey was until I got the internship at NatWest.
Okay, another good answer, Kitish. Thanks. Uh, okay, Srujan, can you ask the next question?
Yeah, sure. So my next question would be like, we know we kind of got an idea about your internship preparation, and can you like point out some major differences between your internship preparation and placement preparations? What all main differences were there?
Mm, differences would be there are some additional subjects that we need to study for placements. So those are like operating systems and computer networks, and some amount of system design as well. So these are the few things that one needs to study. I didn't actually study computer networks.
Hello,
All I did
was I
was
audible?
yes, Sojan. I think there's a delay until my voice reaches to you, so you have to
Hello.
wait.
Yeah, it's okay. You can continue.
Yeah. So as I was saying, what was the question again? I forgot. Yeah,
Question
the
is the
differences between
difference
internship
between
and yeah,
placement
got it, got
preparation.
it. Yeah, as I said, DSA was it is the same. The same companies ask the same DSA. I think that's it. And the number of rounds of interviews might be increased by one. So if the company had 3 rounds, they might be having 4 rounds in the placement season. But yeah, the basic preparation thing remains the same. It's the same DSA projects, and if you had internship experience, that is a very good plus. And core subjects include operating system, database management system, computer networks, system design, and object-oriented principles. So those are the same. You just need to practice it more rigorously so that if you get because placement is like the last chance you have at college. Like if you, even if you don't get an internship, that is fine. But if you don't get a placement, that is a very difficult thing to go through. So you need to prepare so well that even if you get a single opportunity, you have full confidence that you can crack it. So that is what I was going for. I tried my hands more in computer programming and developed some better projects that I had in internship. So those were not as good. So I tried for better projects after my internship. Even during my internship, I was also preparing DSA for the placement season. So it's just do the everything, but like one level higher. That's what I would say. That's what I did.
Okay. Uh, so my next question is, if you could go back, like you said, you started preparation after your first year. So, like, if you could go back to that time, would there be any changes you would do to your preparation? Like, what are the things that you learned in your whole journey that you could change? So, so this question is, what would be your advice to the like juniors who are in their second years and who have time to prepare?
Yeah. Yeah, so uh, again, the same thing we will. So the basic preparation is always the same. You need to go through the data extraction algorithms, the standard one that we have. You need to solve decent amount of lead code questions so that you get a hands-on. And even if the most hectic and stressful situations, you can solve that question. That is basically an interview environment. And you need to go through operating system, database management system, and object-oriented programming principles, and mostly these 3 subjects. And you need to have some basic, decent projects in your resume. And if you have an internship experience, that is a very good plus. So you can show your real industry experience. So those are the basic things you can do that. So it's just that the timeline. So the internship season starts in fifth semester, right? So you need to be well prepared before the fifth semester even starts. So you cannot just go ahead and start preparation in the summer vacation that is before the fifth semester. So that doesn't work like that. So if you actually want a good company, you need to start very well ahead. So even if your luck doesn't help you, even if nothing helps you, you can still get into a good company if you have prepared that much. And I'm not saying that you cannot prepare in the summer vacation and get a good company. That is not what I'm saying. It's just advisable to start it as early as possible, as that will help you in long run. So in my case, as I started in second year, because I could have started in first year itself, but my priorities were different back then. The time that you guys can start, that depends upon you. So if you want to enjoy your first year, explore some other things, that is totally fine. But yeah, by the start of second year, you should be like if you want that kind of job, you should be starting by the start of second year. You should not delay it much. And again, you guys have offline college, so managing it would be difficult. So you should start it as early as possible. You can have a first year to explore, but you can start it in second year beginning itself. And the roadmap remains the same. That there is no such difference there. And in my case, if I want to do something different, I would that would be like making some better projects before my internship season. So I didn't pay that much attention to my projects. So they were very basic projects, and I also thought that no, they won't ask much depth about my project. So that was something I was wrong about, because in the first interview of Oracle itself, they asked something about my project, and I wasn't able to answer it. So yeah, know your projects well, and make some decent projects which you can say that okay, people might use it. So what is the use case of that project? You can say that to the interviewer that okay, this kind of people might find it useful, so might integrate into the daily life problems. So that is one thing that could have improved the project situation, and I think everything else I would have kept the same.
Uh, okay. Again, good advice for the juniors that you should start preparing in the earliest, because it is hard to manage academics and like preparation in general, and projects are very essential because they are like, it's like playing in your own backyard, so you know what questions to expect. So make a good project, indulge the interviewer in that conversation for a longer time. That will help you. Okay. So, my next question is, what is your advice for someone who doesn't secure an on-campus internship, or they are not securing a software internship? So, what can they change, like about their preparation, and what can they do? Like, what should they focus on then?
Um, for people who do not have an on-campus internship in software industry, or let's say they do not have an internship with the company that they like, so that can also be a criteria. And for them, there might be a variety of reasons why they didn't get into a company. So it might be just it might not be just their own fault. So there are a lot of things that can go wrong in such situations, is what I'm saying. So I mean, some things are always out of your hands, so you cannot control everything in your life. So you need to go ahead with what you have got. You need to do decent at the internship that we have. But again, if you do not like it at all, so you definitely need a different company or a better company. Then you need to manage preparing for that company along with your internship. Like at NatWest, I used to continue solving DSA problems and made at least two new projects during my internship, apart from my internship work, just because I wanted a better company. I wanted a higher paying company. So yeah, I mean, the formula isn't different. You need to keep grinding. Even if you do not get into a good company as an intern, you still need to keep grinding. And apart from that, you also need to look outside of your college. So, I mean, people sometimes do become dependable upon the college, upon their on-campus opportunities. But I want you to know that, like even in our times of recession, I have come across I think 5 to 6 legit off-campus openings for 2024 graduates, and myself have interviewed in like 3 or 4 of them. So I would say that when the times are better, I think it will be better in future. There will be a lot more opportunities outside of your college campus placement, so you can explore those as well. Start exploring those even before the on-campus placement start. Like you should need to keep an eye on those as well. So it's not like you failed in on-campus placement due to whatever reason, and then you go ahead and start try for off-campus. It doesn't work like that. You have to do both of them together. So even if you do not have an on-campus placement, or there's no such good company coming out of campus, you can still get a good off-campus opportunity. And believe it, getting an off-campus job feels much more like an achievement than just getting the best company that we have out of campus. So the effort that you put in will definitely be rewarded. It's just that you need to keep grinding. You need to persevere till that point.
Great answer, Katish.
Okay, so moving on to the next question. If you ask you, how did you approach for off-campus internships and placement, and like, what is the scenario there in regards to the on-campus scenarios?
Uh, yeah, off campus, actually, it is quite a mess. So, in case of on campus placement, what happens is that we have a WhatsApp group and we know about every company that comes to our college through that WhatsApp group. There is no such thing in off campus opportunities. So, you need to go hunt for the opportunities themselves. So, from my side, what I did is that there are a lot of Telegram groups, so they actually aggregate all the opportunities and keep a record of those in the Telegram group. So I joined a lot of those Telegram groups, like you can count like 9, 10 of those groups, and there was a lot of spam there. But yeah, you need to join those groups in order to keep track of what opportunities comes to your like for your batch, like 2025 batch or 2026 batch, whatever. So you need to keep a track of those in the Telegram groups, and you also need to follow, maybe just have a LinkedIn account. And there are a lot of people nowadays that post about opportunities, so you can follow them as well. So it's just that you have to hunt for the opportunities. They do not come to your door and ring your bell. So that doesn't happen like that. So you need to hunt for those. That is one of the difficult tasks, I would say. Like suppose if I even if you find an opportunity that is suitable for your batch, so you need to go through all the employees of those company in LinkedIn, and you need to ask them for a referral for that opportunity. You need to wait for their reply, and then you can apply for it. So that is a very active process. I understand that. Even I myself was very like burnt out of that. So in at some point of time I was like, that's it, I can't do it anymore. But yeah, you need to keep doing the same thing again and again, and that's how it is. And in terms of how the industry situation is, in my case, I think it was fine. So I had interviews with Google, Coinbase, Rubrik, of course, and there were also some other opportunities in companies like Salesforce and fertilization, that was mostly women only, and some other companies were also there. So I would say that even in my case, the situation wasn't that bad. So it is only gonna improve in future. So you can keep a look at that also.
Okay, nice. So if I ask you, like, can you give me a formal walkover, like, how do you apply for an off-campus opportunity? Like, starting from hunting for it and till getting the offer, just walk through it.
Yeah. So first you need to know about the opportunity, right? So what I did is I joined a lot of Telegram groups. They used to aggregate all the opportunities, and that was for all the batches. So you need to filter out what is there for your batch. So you need to keep a look at the Telegram groups like twice a day at least, because even if there is an opportunity for your batch, there's high possibility that a lot of people would have filled it up and the job opening must have been closed. So you need to keep a frequent look at those groups to know about the opportunities that come for you. You can also follow people on LinkedIn, people on Twitter also. They also post about the opportunities, and you might want to visit some career sites of the companies, but I wouldn't suggest that, because most of the career sites are like not that good in terms of you cannot actually find opportunity specific to you, so they are not as good as that. So that's something that I won't advise you to do. So that is the first step. You get to know about the opportunity, and the second step is that the two options, you can either directly apply on the career site, or you can take a referral from an employee and then apply. So I would suggest to do the second thing. So even nowadays, like a lot of people are applying through referral, but I would say that sometimes it definitely works. So in my case, there was an opportunity for Coinbase, so software engineering backend. So there were some people that applied without referral, and the same people applied with referral, so like from different mail IDs. So the mail ID having a referral actually got the opportunity for the online test. I would say that don't think about it, just go ahead with the referral method. And for the referral method, what you have to do is just find the employees of the company on LinkedIn, send them connection requests, and once they accept the connection request, you must have a template, like template of a paragraph that you're gonna send to them to ask for a referral. So in that template, you can mention that, okay, your brief introduction, like what you do, what college you are, and what are your interests. It's very brief. And you can mention the job link, you can mention a job ID, and you can mention like why should they refer you, like what are your achievements, what are things you have done so that you deserve a chance to get interview at that company. So a few things about you, so that they would have trust that, okay, this is a good candidate, this candidate should get an opportunity with that company, so let me refer this candidate. So that kind of feeling they should get from your message. It should be very crisp and no BS. So don't like just write English words there, just very quick and concise. So that kind of message you need to send to all the employees that you have in your connections from from that company, and as many as possible, because it is not like everyone will respond. Very few will respond, and out of that very few, maybe like today nowadays most of the people do give out referrals, so they do not restrict that much. But still, but yeah, the number of responses would be very less. So you need to send connection request to about, let's say, 30 40 employees, and once you get accepted from them, you can just send them the message for referral, provide a proper job ID if it is there, or maybe job link, whatever it suits the case. And once you get a referral from them, which would take at least like 2 days, I would say. So that is the problem. Even if you get an opportunity to apply to that, you need to wait for 2 days, or you have to do some things for that 2 days duration. That is mostly hectic in off-campus opportunities, and that is not there in the on-campus opportunities that we have. So that is a huge difference there. Yeah. So once you get a referral, you can go ahead and apply with that referral. And another one thing is that you need to have your resume very strong and updated. So you should have all the industry experience that you have had. You should mention the most important projects and in the most best way possible. So you can mention what all tech stacks you used, what all what is the real use case of the project, what are the challenges that you faced, and how did you actually overcome them. Not exactly challenges and overcome, you can mention it very short in the resume. You need to have a very good resume, and then you can apply to the company and just wait if the company responds to your application or not. So this is the whole process, and you have to rinse and repeat for every company that you come across. And I know it's a bit hectic, but that's how it is, man.
Nice. That was a great answer. If you see, think that you have been accepted into an internship, right? Then what should be your approach for the internship so that you can secure a PPO? Like what all mindset should be there? Is it like go on working and completing your tasks, or is it like socializing there? What should be the mindset?
Yeah. So again, I would say that converting an internship to a full time, that is also not completely in your hands. What you can do is just have a good internship, so you can work on things. You can complete things at time whenever your manager expects you to. Even if you have your delays in your work, let's say you are sick or you are not feeling to work at all, so you have to communicate that to the stakeholders. So it's not just you working in a project, there are a lot of people working the project. So you need to communicate to them if you have certain, you are expecting certain delays from your side. So delay is totally fine, you just need to communicate it, and it should not be a lot of delay. So that is also something that you have to keep in mind. So definitely you need to complete your work in time and show some enthusiasm. Like uh, it's not just about completing the tasks that are assigned to you. It is about like working out of your task. So like apart from your task, what all things you're doing that helps the team or helps the company in any possible, even if it is a very small thing, you can do that, and that will impress your manager and tell him that okay, this might be a good person to hire. So that is what you can do. That is all you can do. But yeah, there are other things as well that depend. So it might be possible that there are no openings in your team, or it might be possible that the company doesn't have a budget to hire these many people. So those things are out of your hands, and you cannot do anything about that. So better not think about it. Do your own part and hope for the best.
Okay, nice. That answers the question. And one more thing, that would be the last question from our side. Most of the people who are joining into this CP contest and all recently, like those who are new, they probably have this thing in their mind and how to cope up with the contests which they have to give during studying in the college, right? Uh, Most of the contests start at
Hmm.
8 p.m. And in college, that is the time when we should be having our dinner. That is 8 to 9:30, and that covers up the contest time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I get that. So 8 p.m. is the normal contest time. So what we used to do is that we had a group of people who gave contests. So in my friend group, I think there were three, four people together. Three, four, five, six, yeah, whatever. So I think the mess timing is from 7:45 p.m. So we can definitely go ahead and have your dinner first, and then you can go ahead and give the contest. So that's what we did. So you cannot just give the contest and maybe eat outside. So that cannot happen every 2 3 days. That is not possible. So yeah, I mean you have to manage. So you can eat first and then go to the contest, and you can make a habit out of it also. It's not that difficult. If you really want to give that contest, you can definitely find out a way to do that. It's not that difficult. Uh, yeah, so that's it about the contest. But yeah, and you need to give it faithfully. So you need to try as much questions as you can solve. You have to try for the whole duration. You cannot just give up in between. So that's not how it works. It won't help you improve. And even after contest, if you're not able to solve the question, let's say you wanted to solve three questions, but you were only able to solve two of them, you can definitely try out the third question afterwards. So you can absolve them, you can discuss them with your friends. So that is one advantage of having a friend group that actually works for the same kind of domain. So if you have a friend group that works tries to go into software domain, you have that advantage that you can discuss things in among yourselves. So that is a kind of thing that I had. Like my friends were all together in the same group. They wanted to go to software domain. That is one advantage that I had, and I would say that that is very priceless. So try to find friends who want to go into software, discuss with them. That's why we have clubs, right? So to find people who are same career oriented as you, so you can go ahead and code with them. So yeah, that's it.
Okay. Thanks, Kritish, for all the answers. So I would again like to prompt the viewers that you can ask any question and we
Yeah,
can
great.
take them.
That answers my
Yeah.
question. Shaurya can take over the conversation.
Okay. I think Srujan's voice is lagging. So anyway, uh,
All
so
right.
uh, so I encourage like everyone watching the stream to ask their questions and we'll take them in the end. So, just a fun question I would like to ask: how are you? Like, has Bangalore been kind to you, or are you missing the college? So, what about that?
If we compare it to Gurgaon, the Bangalore experience has been far better. There's almost no heat around here, and it rains in the evening, so temperature is pretty good here. So if you compare it to my internship experience at Gurgaon, this has been far better. And uh, about missing the college, I mean, you can imagine I was not in the college for the last semester of my college life, so you can imagine the rest of the things yourself. I
Mhm.
missed out the celebrity night as well. I missed out a lot of things.
Okay. Uh, so we have a question like it's from Sayam,
Sayam,
but okay.
this guy. You don't need Rubrik when you have a World Bank at your hands. You don't need Rubrik. You can destroy Rubrik whenever you want to.
Okay, so we'll just wait for 1 or 2 minutes and we can end this stream if we don't have any questions. Achha, may I ask you your favorite food places in the college?
Oh, uh, there used to be we had a samosa chart in side post, right? So that was very good. They stopped doing samosa chart. So
So no
that is
point
a very remarkable
in
thing
mentioning.
because
Yeah,
sorry,
no point in mentioning that because like our juniors won't be able to
but yeah,
enjoy
I
it.
think I would say that that was the best dish in the whole college samosa chart, and
And it
I
was very
have
cheap
some
as
good
well.
memories related to that. Yeah, very
Mhm.
good, but I don't know why they shut it down, man. Very big loss. And food places, the Raincoal Calories is also standard, but MSS Night Canteen is good. That's, I mean, I eat a lot of dosa there. So I was, at a time, I was like every day having dinner over there, two dosas and one Manchurian maybe. So I have some good memories there. It just switches. So at sometimes it is MSS Night Canteen, sometimes it was MSS Day Canteen, then came DBA Night Canteen, and then came GDB Night Canteen. It's just not a constant place. But yeah, the best place I would say is samosa chat at side post.
Mm. Yes, I
Achha, one
agree.
more thing, just keeping in mind, these all recommendations are coming out from a vegetarian guy.
Oh my god, you
Okay.
didn't have to say it. Yeah, man, they also had egg in that samosa chat. You can enjoy that as well if you're an vegetarian. I mean, you cannot enjoy it anymore. They don't have that anymore.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. Okay, I think we don't have any questions, so we'll just end the stream. Uh,
Yeah, sure.
okay. Thank you everyone for joining, and thank you Khitish for your valuable time.
Thank you, Shaurya and
So
Sujan, for having me.
okay.